we're going to be covering best practices for maintaining your Shuttle portals. So a lot of the focus in this session will be on administering and admin rights and managing your users, so user access and controls primarily. So I'm just going to run through a couple slides as usual, and then I'll jump into some live demonstrations. All right, so the first slide is more aimed towards administration rights of your portals. So I just kind of presented this in a question format that I'm sure a lot of you have had these questions or similar previously, so this will kind of help you address those. So the first question may come to you, which portals do I have admin rights to? Right through the Media Shuttle user interface, you can actually see all the portals you're an admin of, so I'll demonstrate that. All right, you may ask, what privileges do portal admins have? What kind of controls do they have over users? What kind of controls do they have over the portals itself? So we'll go over that. Thirdly, who else other than myself has admin rights to my portals? So you may not be the only admin for your portal. You may have colleagues or others in there that maybe you're not aware of. So I'll show you how to, or I'll explain to you how to find that out. And then the last question here is, how can I track changes made by admins? So again, you may have others in there that are administering the portal, and maybe you came across some change in the portal the other day that you didn't make yourself, and you just want to know how is that done, who did it. So I'll show you where you can go to find that information out. All right, so now more on the managing end users side, a couple questions that may come to you is, which end users have access to my portals and what permissions do they have? So I'll run through the members section of the portals, just showing you the ins and outs of managing those users and granting permissions on a user level as well. Next here is, how can I have Media Shuttle automatically remove user access? So you may be working with a particular client or customer of yours on a project perhaps, or maybe you just need to send them a quick file for a day or two. You can actually have Media Shuttle automatically stop their access, remove them from using your portal after that allocated time there for your project. And the third bullet here is, how can I migrate my members from one portal to another? So you may have multiple portals under your Media Shuttle account for various reasons, but maybe you have a list of users that actually need to have access to more than one portal. So you can quickly manage your members from one portal to another, or migrate them over very easily with a tool built in a Media Shuttle that I'll show you. And then the last one here on this slide is, how can I view users' activity? So part of managing your users is just making sure they're doing what you want them to do, or not what they shouldn't be doing. So there's tracking and audit trails all built into your Media Shuttle subscription, so it's all visible to you in the interface, and I'll show you where you can do that. So you can track pretty much all the activity that users are doing on your portals. So with that, let me jump over here to my browser. So here in front of you is just one of example of a share portal I have. So users come into this portal for collaborative work, and they can navigate into these folders, upload and download content, and so on. But as far as managing and administering these portals, so again, being an admin, it's going to give you access to control and have some control over this portal and who has what permissions and so on. So really to get into that, you'd have to log into the portal's administrative console. So there's a couple ways you can do it. Firstly, up on the top right corner of the portal under Options, you'll see Manage Portal. So only those members that are admins of the portal will see this. So your typical end users that are just transferring data through this portal, they're not going to have this option here. So I can click on that. You can see it brings up a new browser tab. And if you look at the URL here for a moment, you're going to see it's the same portal URL /admin. So if you just wanted to go right to that URL rather than the portal itself, you could do that there. Just type that in your browser. So the first question I presented on the slide there was, which portals do I have admin rights to? So in order for you to find that out, it's actually very easy. At the top of any of your portal admin consoles, like the one I have here, you can see Manage Portal. So this is the name of the current portal that I'm on, but there's a drop-down menu, And I myself have quite an intensive list of portals I'm an admin of here, but you may have 5, 10, however many it is. And you could actually see them all listed here. And I can actually click on any of the ones listed. And you'll notice the URL will change here in just a moment. So now it brings me to the admin console of my joesubmit.mediashuttle.com portal. Okay, so it's a different portal, different admin console. Every portal, every unique portal or URL that you create with Media Shuttle is going to have its own back-end admin console. And right up there is just how easy it is to switch over to it. Okay. The next question I had there on the slides was what privileges do portal admins have? So that's basically everything you're seeing here in this console. So I'm not going to go into details on everything in here, but just to kind of give you an idea, the dashboard here is just going to kind of give some high-level metrics on transfer activity throughout the month. Active transfers will show you any transfers occurring in real time. But on the left, you have all these different menus of options. So a lot of it has to do with customizing the portal, such as the general options here for language and setting email notifications, making those interested parties aware of transfers. This is where you would do that. Site design, again, more customization, branding the portal with your own logo and background image. And then there's also, reporting. So this kind of goes into the questions I had on how do you track changes made by admins or how do you view users' activity. That can all be done through the file history and event logs here. So file history, of course, is going to give you a history of all the transfers made through this portal. You'll see the file name, the size, who sent the file, who downloaded the file, and the date and time that action occurred. And this information is retained since day one, since the portal is created. So you can always go back to the first day, if it was a month ago, a year ago, you can always go back in time and just view all the transfer activity there. So you always know who's doing what here, who's downloading or uploading what. But along with that, you have the event logs on the left. This is going to give you some other information, such as what you see here, successful deletion of files or folders, successful logins, uploads, downloads. If there was any failed login attempts by users, those would be logged here. And as far as, from an administrative standpoint, if you had other admins in here that maybe deleted or added users, you would actually see that logged here. So, for example, member added by myself. You would see that, you can see here, member added. Tells you when I added Danielle to the system, that's logged here as well. So a lot of the administrative tasks that are completed through the portal are actually logged here as well. So again, with the event log and the file history, you basically have full awareness of who's doing what within this portal. Another tip as well, you can always, if you're still curious, without going in here and viewing all the event logs, if you're curious who else has admin rights to this portal, the best way to find that out is to reach out to your Media Shuttle IT admin. If you're not sure who that is, it's very likely the person that helped you set it up initially. If you're still not sure who that is, reach out to us directly, our customer care team at signet.com. You can email us, and I'm sure we can help you find that person out. All right. So the next thing I'm going to go into is more along managing your users. So that will be primarily under here, under members. So here you can see I only have a few members listed here, but when you go to add new users, okay, you're basically going to fill in the user's information here, email address, whatever that may be. Okay. And here's what I was talking about is how can you have Media Shuttle automatically remove users after a period of time? So we have a nice expiration option here. So you can say this user, I only want to give him access until the weekend, until Saturday. Okay. So I add him as a user, I set his expiration date, and down here I also have what permissions I can set for the user. So I can set him access to the root of this portal if I wanted to give him access and visibility to everything, and I can set his upload, download, and delete permission as well. So just to jump back here for a moment on the actual portal interface, portal root means he's going to see everything that I'm seeing here. All these folders, all these files, he can navigate into them and see everything in there. So you may want to give that user all that permission, or you may not. So you can actually change their root access, control what they can see. Let's say this is George I'm adding. I'm going to give him access only into his folder. And I only want to give him upload permission. Okay. And I can click Save Changes. Okay. So I've added George to the portal. You can see he's added here in the list with the rest of us. It shows his expiration date here, and his status is actually red right now because he hasn't activated his account yet. But once he does so, his status will turn green. And then when he goes to this URL of my portal and logs in, he's actually only going to have visible what would be in the George folder here, which is nothing at the moment, but he could upload his content into that folder. Okay. So you have, basically the point of this is you have full control over your users, just managing them, what permissions you want to give them. If you want them to expire after a certain date, you can basically just set it and forget it. When Saturday rolls around, George isn't going to be able to come in here and upload any content. It's just going to deny him access. It's going to tell him that his membership was suspended. You could always go back if you needed to extend his membership until Monday. You could always come back to the user, edit their permissions, and just reset that to another date. And that's it. Okay. So the last thing I wanted to go over here is how to migrate users from one portal to another. So I have this list of maybe I have 40, 100 users in here, and I'm going to create a new portal and add these users into that new portal rather than sitting there and tediously adding them one by one. I can actually go up here to the top, hit an export button, and it's going to export as a CSV file. Just to show you quickly what that file looks like. Okay, so you can see here it has pretty much all the users' emails, names, the expiration date is logged there as well. The permissions is logged there, as well as their home folder access. So really all you would need to do is export this CSV file, go into your new portal, and click on Import. Browse to wherever that file is. I think I have it in my Downloads folder here, and you just click it, hit Open, and it would import the list of users here into your members. So it can be a real time saver, and again, helps you manage the users. One thing I always suggest for new customers is if you have a group of users that you know of, maybe it's people internal within your organization that are going to be using every portal you create or managing them, you could very quickly just create that list of users, export it, save it under a name of something like, my company users.csv, and therefore anytime you create a new portal in the future, those same group of users, you can just import them very easily rather than adding the 5, 10, or however many it is one by one. So pretty much everything for managing the users. I'll just jump back to the slides here for a moment. And so we'll open up to Q&A in a second, but just again to quickly recap, a lot of this, as you know, or pretty much everything I just showed is all done via the admin console of your portal. Again, if you're not sure who's an admin, or maybe there's another portal that you want to become an admin of, that's all controlled by the IT admins of your Media Shuttle account, and those IT admins can be, people that set up the Media Shuttle account with you initially when you first subscribed, or again, reach out to customercare@signet.com and we can help you find out who that is. So any changes in admins, you can let us know and we can help you do that. But other than that, I'll pass it back over to Danny.
Okay, thank you, Joe. At this time, we'll transition to the Q&A portion of the event. As a reminder, you can submit all of your questions in the question panel on the right side of your screen, and I'll just give it a few seconds for those questions to come in. Okay, we had a few questions come in. The first one is, if I create a new portal and I import my member list to this new portal, will they have to re-authenticate?
That's a great question, and the answer is no. Once a user authenticates or creates their Media Shuttle account and password, they're basically going to use that same email address and password for their account across any portals they're a member of. So again, the answer is no.
Okay. When you import a CSV file, does it have a limit on how many users you can import at the same time?
Nope, there's no limit on that.
Okay. Do I have to add members to my portal for them to make transfers?
It depends on how your portal is set up for authentication. So this is the authentication of a portal is handled more within the IT admin's console. So it really depends on the authentication setup. So you can actually, some portals can be set up to not require any login or authentication or approval, whereas others, like the share portal I just demonstrated, share portals are always going to require authentication. So you will have to add the members, and then they will have to create their password to log into it. So again, if you're not sure if you want to change that authentication method, that would again be something that you want to address with your Media Shuttle IT admin.
Is the number of members I add to my portal limited to my license?
No, there's no limit to how many members you add to your portal. So just to jump back here, the members section, this is where you add the members. So you can add as many members in here as you wish. It's not going to count towards your license in any way unless they start using the portal. So that will be based off of whatever your license, your subscription contract states. But yeah, there's no limits. Adding members in here doesn't affect your license in any way. So feel free to add anyone in here that you think will be needing to use your portal.
Okay. Can a list of distribution be a member of a portal?
Well, the members is basically just email addresses. So yeah, I mean, if you want to use a distribution list email address, I mean, there's nothing that's going to prevent you from adding that to the system. I would just caution, if multiple people have access to that, as far as tracking through Media Shuttle, all the tracking is just going to show that email address. So it may be hard for you to distinguish what actual user of that DL list made the upload or download and so forth. But yeah.
Okay. Is it possible to change a portal from a send portal to a share portal so we can retain the same URL?
Unfortunately not. You would have to, if you wanted to use the same URL, you would have to actually remove or delete the first portal that had it. So the original portal would have to be deleted, and then the new portal you would have to create basically a new share or send, whatever it is, and then you could use the same URL. One thing you could do is, if you wanted to convert it over, export the list of members before you remove the current portal, and after they're exported, delete the current portal, create the new one, and just re-import that list of users. So the same users will be imported into the new portal, and they'll be accessing the same URL, but the interface will be the new share, send, whatever it is that you create.
Okay. Here's one more question that we have. What would cause a user to have to reset their password every time they log in? Have you seen that before?
They shouldn't have to reset it every time they log in. And again, when a user account is created through Media Shuttle, they actually create their own password. And the only reason they would maybe need to reset it that I'm aware of would be if they just forget the password. So if you're having an issue with that, I would definitely feel free to reach out to our support team or customer care at Signiant.com or support at Signiant.com. We can help you figure out if there is some kind of issue going on there, but there shouldn't be any requirement for having them reset the password.
Okay. Looks like we have another one. How many transfers must a user do before they count against your account limit of members?
So I think the real question here is you're asking how many transfers do they need to do before they actually apply towards your license. So let's just say you have a 20-user license. The licensing works on a month-to-month basis. So every month you have a fresh start of 20 users. And the way a user is counted against your license is when they start using the portals, if they make an upload, they'll be counted as a user for the month. Or if they receive or download 3 or more occasions within the month, then they get flagged as a user as well for the month. So again, basically just one upload or 3 or more downloads, then they'll be counted as one user for the month. And once they count as a user, they can do as many uploads and downloads for the month as they wish. It's not going to count them as any more than one user. This is all tracked, again, per email of the users. That's all the transfers are tracked with the email address that the user is using for the transfers.
Okay. So that looks like we've answered all of the questions that have come in, but if you have another one, please feel free to submit it now. Okay. So that looks like those are all the questions for now. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Just wanted to remind you, as always, that customer success is here to help you. So please feel free to reach out to customercare@signiant.com if you or other users in your organization need some more hands-on training, or even if you have any recommendations for topics that you'd like to see us cover in the future. We're happy to consider those, or maybe go over that one-on-one with you. You can also check out the training materials that we have for you on our support site. So thanks for joining, and have a great day.